Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this video we are going to check out GALA's price chart, and the fact that this move up happened starting from these areas from my point of view is an awesome sign, suggesting maybe we are actually looking bullish and optimistic. If you remember, in the previous update we generally talked about 2 points when we were, I believe, right in here. Number one, I said this move down can continue a little bit more because odds are this is going to be into this wave 5, and so far back then we had only a 3 wave movement, and I said, well, okay, we can get a correction for another move down into wave 5. Another important point that we talked about in the previous update was this: after this 5 wave down, I said we're gonna have a move on the upside, but the move itself is kind of predictable and it doesn't really matter. What really matters, and is the key, is the shape of that move. If we get an impulse, a very strong move up, followed by that a correction down, okay, that can be a very optimistic sign, suggesting in GALA we are still allowed to be optimistic. So what happened? A big move up, and I'm going to talk about the shape of this thing in a minute, but before that, if you remember, we also talked about another very important key point in GALA in the previous update, and it was this important low about 1.3 cents. And I said, one way or the other, I really do not want to see GALA taking this low, because at that point we may have to consider the possibility of having an ABC or a WXY in this area, generally some sort of a corrective movement, indicating our move down may not be over. And from here, for example, we can see a continuation of this downtrend in order to set new lows and take the lowest low all the way down here about like 1.1 cents, which sure, in the short term may not be a good sign, but overall it might be the buy opportunity of a lifetime. And again, let me repeat that: the fact that we got this move up before we take this low is, from my point of view, an excellent sign. Now, what is happening right in here in this move? I think we can all agree on the fact that this is a very strong and sharp move up in form of an impulsive structure, which is great. And I believe this can be a wave 1, A, B, C, maybe a flat, maybe, yes, I think like a WXY, possibly in form of a double zigzag, doesn't really matter. Generally some sort of a correction into wave 2. And what is going on? I think we can say maybe this is 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, possibly to about here, or maybe around this high, not really that important. And then you can say this is correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. Question: what happens after an impulse up? You know the answer. We are going to have, even if we are bullish and optimistic, some sort of a correction down. Now, are we going to get our correction right here starting from the current point? Well, I cannot really tell you anything for sure, and there is no certainty in any market, but overall, I think in these areas we are allowed to have some sort of a move down. And for example, you can even say this point instead is the end of wave 3, and right now we may have a correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and then it's going to be time to have a move down. It's not really that important. The point is that at the moment we are under a very important cluster of resistance areas, which I believe was from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And I'm not saying that we are not going to get a break of this level. No, I'm trying to tell you, by the first time that we are touching a very important region, makes sense to, in the short term at least, get some sort of a reaction from it. And then, assuming that we identify the right structure in here, we can argue at that point, you know what, this is 5 up, this is correction down, and in the next phase up that we are going to get, most likely we are going to break this important area, which the higher band of it is somewhere around like 2.1 cents. And by the way, if you want to say this is broken, you need to go on weekly time frame and see a candle close above here, followed by that a pullback to the broken region, and then a continuation of this uptrend in order to take this important high. That is going to confirm that the level is broken. So what's the point? Number one, the fact that we are having a beautiful impulse on the upside starting from this point, and we got our move up before we take this low, is definitely an optimistic sign in GALA, suggesting we are overall very much bullish. And maybe the final low is actually right in here about 1.1 cents. Point number two, nothing goes up or down in a straight line. That's why I want to tell you, because this move is a very strong one, makes sense to expect some sort of a move down. So, for the next couple of days or maybe week or two, if we see something like this, we shouldn't be surprised at all. It is very, very normal. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in GALA's price chart. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.